Alrighty, I have a topic of discussion that we discussed on the podcast last Friday. I'm ready to talk about it in full detail now. So our topic of discussion today is Dragonfire at Canada's Wonderland getting removed? Well, if you asked me about a couple months ago, it was definitely on my list of possible ride removals, but I most certainly thought there was another attraction at Canada's Wonderland that would get removed well before this one, and that was the Bat. My mind is slightly getting changed due to what we're seeing on site at Dragonfire. So before the park closed, literally 2 days before the park closed, these little markings started to pop up at Canada's Wonderland's original roller coaster, Dragonfire. So in the location currently of the brake run, the lift hill, the turn into the station, and the station itself, there are all these ground markings referencing electrical lines, gas lines, hydraulic lines, all the jazz over at Dragonfire. So usually when you start to see markings like this, it entails that there's going to be some sort of groundwork in that area or close to that area. So while it definitely suggests something's going to be happening to Dragonfire, it definitely leaves a lot of open room as to, okay, well, maybe it isn't Dragonfire, maybe it's Riptide. So there is a possibility for that, but I don't see them removing Riptide without removing Dragonfire. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of triggered people in the comments section being like, well, it's an original attraction. There should have been some sort of goodbye. I'm here to tell you guys there is a trend forming in the Six Flags chain of attractions not being announced for closure. So we have the 3 attractions over at Six Flags Great Adventure that were getting removed. We have the attraction over at Carowinds Hurler now has permits for demolition without being announced to get removed. And there are parks like Six Flags over Texas, I think it is. I'm not gonna over Mexico or something like that. There are other coasters in the chain being removed without closing announcements. It seems to be the new trend. And I'm gonna explain a little bit why you might be seeing that. No press is sometimes better than press. So with removing attractions, they have to make announcements, they have to hold an event, and they have to deal with press questions. So when you're removing so many attractions across the chain might have just decided it's easier to just say goodbye and close without an announcement. Now, with that being said, I want to show you guys on the screen right now an example of why these markings could be suggesting that there's going to be a removal. So over at Dorney Park, they're about to remove this slide complex, and these are very similar markings that you are seeing over at that slide complex that's going to get bulldozed as to what we're seeing over here at Dragonfire. Now, again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen for sure. These markings could just mean there's groundwork going on nearby. They could be upgrading the electrical for Dragonfire, which brings me to the third possibility, or second possibility. I don't know which one I'm at. Dragonfire possibly could be receiving an upgrade. There is a possibility that they could be working on its chain, upgrading its brakes, getting new trains, so it needs new brakes, and new station parts, which means they need to do some sort of groundwork in that area to upgrade its technology. That is a very likely possibility. Now, the reason I'm on the side of there's a chance that it could be getting removed is we're seeing this trend across the board. They announced it on their stockholders call that they're going to be analyzing their portfolio and removing attractions to replace them with better attractions down the road. Now, a lot of people jump to the conclusion of Wild Beast, the Bat, Flight Deck, Time Warp of attractions that would be leaving well before Dragonfire. Well, when you actually look at the plot of land Dragonfire opens up possibilities to, it's a really underutilized, underdeveloped plot of land. Yes, the go-karts takes up some of it, but I could totally see Six Flags removing the go-karts along with Dragonfire whenever they're ready to build this new attraction. When you look at it from a bird's eye perspective like we are right now, it really opens your eyes to the possibilities that removing Dragonfire could open up for a park like Canada's Wonderland. So, yes, these markings don't fully confirm that we're going to see Dragonfire get removed, but I would definitely keep an open mind with what you're seeing on the screen here. So, there's 2 key takeaways with this presentation. Dragonfire could have given its last ride, or Dragonfire could potentially be getting an upgrade, or maybe just Riptide is going to get removed, and that's what we're seeing with those ground markings. So those are the 3 key takeaways that I would look at when we're seeing these types of markings pop up. I can confirm there are not any other ride in the park that have these markings currently, but that could change. I have other information that I'm almost ready to share in a predictions video. I'm going to change it with some knowledge that I might have about some of the decisions Six Flags is making. And I definitely have some changes to my current predictions that I had made about a month ago. So stay tuned for that video, because I promise you guys, you're gonna want to pay attention to that one. It is packed with information. Now, if you're a Patreon, stay tuned to Patreon over the next 2 days. I have some bombshells to drop on Canada's Wonderland, and definitely stay tuned for our coverage at IAPA on Alpenfury. We have some really juicy stuff for you guys as well. So thank you so much for watching today's video. Comment down below what you think is going to be happening to Dragonfire at Canada's Wonderland. Do you think it's going to go, or do you think it's here to stay with some upgrades? Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a good one. Bye.